name is Stephanie, and I'm going to be guiding you through a Hatha Level 1 practice today that focuses on opening up the upper body, in particular the chest and shoulders. So we will be using some props for today's practice. If you have two blocks, have them close by and handy, as well as a blanket or a towel if you know that your knees tend to be a little sensitive. A strap might be a nice prop to have handy as well. And if you don't have a traditional yoga strap, you can use a belt. You can use, I like the belt on a bathrobe because it's a little more pliable. It's not as stiff. So gather your props, have that handy and close to your mat, and we're going to begin in a seated position. So I'll offer two options for how you'll begin today based on your body. So what would feel better to you? Option one would be coming to a cross-legged seat, so Sukhasana position. And you'll start with the right shin in front of the left, flexing through the feet, and working across at the center of the shins. So sometimes there's a tendency to cross more at the ankles and also to draw the heels towards the groin. I want you to think about really truly crossing at the center of your shins and walking your heels out to the side so that they align underneath your knees. If you come into the seated shape and you feel there's a lot of rounding in your back and the knees are elevated really high, what you can do is sit yourself on a block or a towel or a blanket. And that'll elevate your hips so the knees can release and the inner thighs and hip flexors can soften. So that's the first option you can take to come into a seat. Second option would be Virasana, hero's pose. So to come into Virasana, you'll come onto your shins. And I always like to use blocks for this pose just because it takes some of the pressure out of the knees and it allows me to ease into my body, especially since it's the first pose. Let it be easy. Try not to strain or push your way through it. So you might use two of your blocks and you would set the blocks between your heels. I'll turn to the side so you can see a little better. Blocks will be flat and wide. So in other words, the short sides of the block will be facing towards the inner edges of your feet. And you'll place the blocks between the feet, walk them in so that the inner edges of the feet are kind of grazing and hugging into the blocks, and the knees will come as close together as the body will allow. Before you sit back, place your hands on your calves, slide the calves out to the side, and then allow your hips to release. For my body, two blocks is a little too high and it makes me feel like I'm pitching forward. So I'll remove one block and just sit down on a single block. You can play, see what works better in your body. So choose one of those two options to begin, either starting in Sukhasana with the shins crossed or starting in Virasana with me, perhaps propped up on blocks or a blanket or even a bolster. I'm going to turn to face you guys. Once you come into your position where you're going to start today, allow the hands to rest gently on the thighs. Soften the elbows, lift up long through your spine, and move your head back so that your ears are stacking over your shoulders, and your shoulders are also stacking over your hips. So sometimes it might feel like the body is tilting a little forward or a little back. And we want to find that sweet spot, that in between, a neutral, tall and lifted spine. You can close your eyes if that feels comfortable in your body today. And allow the facial muscles to soften and relax. Especially notice if the eyes feel a little tense, or the tongue is pushing into the roof of the mouth. Invite in a little more ease and feel the edges start to let go. Tops of the shoulders, elbows, inner thighs. So we remain lifted. We keep that integrity in the spine, but imagine that it starts from the inside. And one of my mentors always uses the visualization of Russian nesting dolls. So there's many layers, many little dolls, right? You can imagine that in our body. And so from the very smallest one, from deep, deep inside, Can you lift? Can you lengthen? And allow that to spread out all the way to the outer body, to the body that we see when we look into the mirror. So we're not gripping, we're not forcing or pushing. So nice, yogis. Maintaining this sense of lift in the heart, integrity and length in your spine. Begin to deepen your breath. Start to take some nice, smooth, deep inhales through your nose. And nice, smooth, deep exhales through your nose. As you inhale, feel the belly, chest, and ribs widen and expand. And as you exhale, notice how the belly pulls back towards the spine and we empty out without rounding forward or changing the skeletal shape, the outer shape of the body, the structure of the physical body. And allow yourself to be with the breath, your attention, your focus, your awareness as you watch the body move in relation to the breath. For the last 30 seconds here, begin to cultivate your Ujjayi breath, finding a little toning at the back of the throat, a slight hollowing out. And the breath continues to move in and out through the nose, but it should feel as if it's sliding over the floor of the nose. So it stays low. It's not high in the forehead, but it's down nice and low. It almost sounds like you're fogging up a mirror. Some people say it sounds like Darth Vader. But whatever resonates with you, whatever visual helps you to find that. And if it's difficult to find today, let it go. Just continue to breathe deeply and smoothly. Take 2 more rounds of breath here. And then keeping everything the same, bring your hands together in front of your heart. So the hands in the position of the palms are the only thing that changes. As you seal your palms together at the center of your heart, feel your sternum, your chest lift a little taller. Lengthen through the back of your neck. And if it feels right for you, if it's something that you like to incorporate into your practice, maybe take a moment here to set an intention. And your intention could be anything at all. Think about why you showed up on your mat today and what you hope to gain from this time. Inhale, full deep breath. On an exhale, bow your chin to your chest. Slowly release your hands to your thighs. Gently blink your eyes open, taking in the floor first, and then allow your gaze to lift. All right, hi yogis. We're going to stay as we are in this seated shape. If you're in Sukhasana with your right shin crossed in front of the left, switch. Place the left in front of the right. And it might feel good to kind of stretch the legs out for a moment, give the feet a little rock side to side. Those that are in Virasana, maintain this position as long as it feels okay in your body. If you need to come upright, rest on the shins for a moment, come off with the knees, and then sit back. Feel free to do so. And once you're grounded, your seat is nice and heavy, rest your hands again on the thighs. Roll the shoulders back, lift through the crown of the head. So imagine that there's this little string, an invisible string, drawing length and space through your spine, all the way through the crown of your head. Take a full inhale. And on your exhale, allow your right ear to move towards your right shoulder. So just a bit of a stretch here for the neck. Be mindful that the right side waist doesn't begin to round. So keep both sides of the waist even and long. Breathing into the left side. Good. Keeping the head tilted to the right. Start to adjust your gaze so that your nose starts to point towards the right shoulder. So a little different stretch, moving to a different spot in the neck. Breathe into this. There's a tendency for the shoulders to want to curl forward. Draw the shoulders back. Keep the heart broad and open. Good. The next time you inhale, turn the gaze forward and bring your head back to center. On an exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Just starting here, pausing, breathing, feeling the stretch, noticing if it might be a little different from side to side. Often it is. Good. Keep the head tilted to the left. Just start to turn your gaze so that your nose points towards your left shoulder. Moving that stretch a little further back. Breathe. The next time you inhale, turn the nose forward and bring the head back to neutral. So nice. Sweep the arms to the sky, bring the palms to press. Inhale. On an exhale, open your arms out into a T shape. Rotate your palms so that they face forward, and you're going to cross your right arm across your chest. Bring that left arm just above the right elbow, and so you're clasping above the right elbow. Soften the top of the right shoulder down and keep reaching out long through your right fingertips. Press the back shoulder blades. Press the tips of the shoulder blades in towards the heart. So try not to round forward like you were in cat pose, but instead think about a little bit of cobra in your upper back. Good. Release the clasp. Extend your right arm straight up to the sky. Plug the arm bone in. Rotate your palm so that it faces behind you. Bend the elbow, and like you wanted to tap yourself on the back, give yourself like a pat on the back. Place the palm to your upper back. Your opposite hand, which is your left hand, is going to take a hold of the elbow and just gently start to draw the arm back a little further. Breathing here. Relax the shoulders. If there's any tenderness in the low back, draw the front ribs in. Lengthen your tailbone towards the floor, towards the block underneath you. One more cycle of breath, not a super long hold. And then exhale, let it go. Release your arms by your side. Inhale, sweep the arms up, full deep breath. Exhale, open the arms out into a T shape. Rotate your palms forward. Second side, we're going to take the left arm across the chest as far as it'll go. And then you're going to use your right arm to clasp just above the elbow. Relax both shoulders. Notice how they're going to want to creep into the ears. And breathe into this stretch. Press the shoulder blades into the upper back. Deepen your breath. As you inhale, we tend to focus only on the front of the body. Try to breathe into the sides of the waist, the ribs, as well as the back body. So 360 breath. Take one more inhale here. On your exhale, release the clasp of your right arm. Stretch your left arm to the sky. Plug the arm bone into the shoulder socket. Start to rotate your palm, and you're rotating from the upper arm, not just flipping the wrist. So rotate the upper arm until your palm faces behind you, bend the elbow. Give yourself that little pat on the back. Take your right hand to the top of the elbow and gently draw the arm back. One more cycle of breath. On the exhale, let it go. Release the arms by the side. Nice, guys. Inhale, take the arms up, full breath. On an exhale, again, arms out to the side. Rotate your palms so they face forward and reach out through your fingertips. Different this time. You're gonna cross your right arm over your left. And think about crossing above the elbows if you can, creating this X shape with your arms. Couple options. You can place the tops of the hands at the top of the shoulders. Some of you will bring the back of the forearms to touch. Others, I'm just gonna turn a little to the side so you can see, will double wrap, bringing the palms to touch. Now, I notice sometimes that students like to curl their fingertips in. Keep energy reaching out through your fingertips. So keep the hands really straight. And then let your shoulders draw down the back. Keep the shoulders moving down the back. Lift your elbows to the height of your shoulders. Those that have one or two of the wraps, so if you're wrapped at your forearms or also at your wrists, move your hands away from your face. Yeah, breathe here. Breathe into the upper back. Take an inhale, lift your fingertips a little higher. And on an exhale, round your upper back. Pull your elbows to your belly button, chin to chest. Inhale, lift it up. Press the bottom tips of the shoulder blades in towards the heart. Think an essence of cobra here. Exhale as you round in. Just one more. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, round your upper back. Good. Come back upright and pause. Inhale, open the arms nice and wide. Relax the tops of the shoulders. Second side, cross your left arm over your right. Finding that X shape, working across above the elbows. Hands can come to the tops of the shoulders, backs of the forearms press, or you might double wrap. If you have one of the wraps, lift your elbows to the height of the shoulders. Relax the shoulders down and away from your ears, and move the hands away from your nose. Just be here. Breathe. On an inhale, maybe lift the fingertips up a little higher, lift the elbows a little higher. Exhale, round your spine, pull your elbows to your belly button. Inhale, lift it up, find a little cobra in the upper back. Exhale as you round it in, just one more. Inhale to bring it up. Exhale to round it in. Inhale, come upright, and on an exhale, unwind your arms, take them out to the side, rotate your palms to the sky. Inhale, sweep it up, palms press. Exhale, hands to the heart. Release your hands and roll your shoulders back a few times. Nice job, yogis. Okay, we're gonna come to tabletop position, hands and knees. So shift your body forward, and if you were sitting on one or two of your blocks, place them towards the front of the mat so they're not in the way. Those that have sensitive knees, your towel or blanket is there. You can place it underneath your knees. And then let's set up for tabletop. Shoulders over the wrists, spread and anchor through all 10 of your fingers. Keep the knees down, lift your shins up, and start to circle out your ankles. Spread the toes. Those that were with me in Virasana, this should feel like a really nice counter stretch to what we were doing with the tops of the feet down. Circle the other way. And if you really want a little challenge here, maybe circle your right foot in one direction and your left foot in the other. It's more like brain yoga, right? Good, and when you've had enough of that, place the tops of the feet down. Setting up for our cat-cow. On an inhale, pull the heart forward, lift the gaze, let the shoulders draw down the back. Exhale, round your spine, hollow your belly, chin to chest. Inhale, heart pulls forward, gaze lifts. Exhale as we press and round. Take a couple more rounds of your cat-cow, moving with your breath, and allowing your breath to really guide the movement more than anything else. So can you make the movement as long as your breath? Instead of rushing through, really embracing and embodying the breath. Take 2 more rounds, take your time, no rush. And 1 more round. Nice, yogis. Come to a neutral spine and pause. Flip your right palm so the back of the hand is down and your fingertips are pointing towards your knee. Try to keep the wrist crease down. It's gonna wanna lift,
but instead really press the entire back of your right hand towards the floor. Relax your elbows a bit and move your right shoulder away from the ear. Gently release that, let it go. Second side, flip the left hand so the top of the palm is down and your fingertips are pointing towards your left knee. Soften the elbow ever so slightly and move your left shoulder away from your ear. Very nice, and let that go. Good job, guys. Okay, we're gonna stay here, but change it up a little bit. So tuck your toes under. That way you're pressing more into the balls of your feet. Keep your left hand exactly as it is, and open your right arm out to the side. As you open your right arm out to the side, bend the elbow and place the hand to the back of the head. It might not go all the way to the back, it might be closer to the ear, that's fine. Inhale, draw length through your spine, and on an exhale, take your right elbow like you want to tap it to your left forearm. You might actually tap. Inhale, open the chest up. Exhale to tap. One more, inhale, open it up. Exhale to tap. Good, open back up, re-extend your right arm. Take a full breath in. On your exhale, thread your right arm all the way underneath your left and lower onto your right shoulder. Bring the head down. If it doesn't come easily to the floor, set a towel or a block under your ear. Everyone, tuck your chin slightly to keep length through the back of your neck. Use your left hand to gauge how deep you go here. Some of you might sway your hips a little bit to the right. One more cycle of breath. Good, press down into your left hand. Inhale to unwind. Reset your right hand and pause, find neutral. Now make sure your belly isn't collapsed, your chest isn't dropping to the floor. So again, there's integrity here. There's a sense of pushing away, but not rounding the upper back, right? And there's a little lift of the navel. Second side, open your left arm out to the side. You're turning, revolving the right ribs open. Bend your elbow and bring your hand somewhere to the back of that head. Soften the shoulder away from the ear. Inhale. On an exhale, left elbow towards the right forearm. Maybe tap. Inhale, turn it open. Exhale to tap. One more. Inhale, turn it open. Keep the spine long. Exhale to tap. Good. Open back up. Turn your chest to the left. Extend the left arm to the sky. On your exhale, thread that left arm under and come on to the left shoulder. You're going to lower down. Bring your forehead, or bring the side of your head rather, to the floor. Tuck the chin in ever so slightly. Make sure your hips aren't shifting back too far. So you're not in child's pose. The hips stay aligned over the knees. Use your right hand to press into the floor and maybe snuggle the left shoulder under a little more. Some of you will shift your hips a bit to the left and breathe. One more cycle. Press down into your right hand, lift the belly up, and make your way back to tabletop. Untuck the toes, give them a little pat out, just a little bounce on the floor. Good, walk the hands forward a couple inches, tuck the toes. From the belly, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. And as you come into your first downward dog, take any movements that feel natural, organic. Maybe that the body is craving here. It might be a pedal of the feet. Perhaps a nod or a shake of the head. Giving yourself an opportunity to arrive in each one of these shapes. Start to find a little bit of stillness. When your body feels ready, push the hands into the mat. Press your hips back. Wrap your triceps towards your ears so the inner upper arms spin forward and your armpits hollow out. Relax your head. Yeah, let the head dangle. And then send the inner upper thighs back behind you. Know that you can have as much of a bend in your knees as you need, especially if the back of the legs are tight. Take 2 more cycles of breath here. This is an active pose. If it feels like too much, lower your knees and take a rest. At the bottom of your next exhale, walk your hands to your feet. Come to a forward fold at the back of the mat. Separate the feet a little bit wider than hip distance, and again, keep a bend in the knees if you need. Fold and release the head. Tip the weight forward slightly towards the balls of the feet without gripping your toes. Now circle your arms behind your back and interlace your fingers. Squeeze the palms together. Reach the knuckles up towards the ceiling. And as you do that, you're going to feel the shoulders lift away from the ears. Again, let the head dangle and feel heavy, and breathe into this stretch. If it's accessible in your body, you might start to move the knuckles slightly forward. There is a tendency here to lock the elbows out, so please keep a little bend in your elbows. Work more into the muscles, less into the joints. We don't want to just hang in the joints. Take one more cycle of breath. And then exhale, bring your hands to your low back. Slide the hands all the way down the legs. Heel toe your feet hip distance apart. Bring your hands to your shins. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold back in over your legs. Uttanasana. Twice more. Inhale, pull the heart forward. Elongate the spine just like we did when we were seated. Exhale, fold and release. Last one. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Ardha, reach out through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold and release. Soft bend in the knees, press into the feet, circle the arms, stand into your legs as you rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. Release your arms by your side. Very nice. Step to the front of your mat. And preset your blocks up there if they're not already. Standing in Tadasana, mountain pose, feet hip distance. Roll your shoulders back and rotate your arms until your palms spin forward. Unlock the knees if there is a tendency to lock out, and lengthen your tailbone slightly. On an inhale, sweep the arms up, full deep breath. As you exhale, hinge from the hips and fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Again, we find Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend the knees, set the hands. Maybe you place them on blocks. Step your right leg back. So big step back with the right leg. Release the right knee to the mat. Untuck the toes. Root into the length of your right shin. Firm the inner thighs together. Inhale, take your arms up. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Steer the right hip crease forward and feel your left hip pin back. Rotate your palms so they're facing the front of your mat, and bend your elbows out to the side. And really pull those elbows back like you wanted them to touch behind you. Absorb the front ribs in and lengthen your tailbone. And then everyone, pull your head back. Keep the ears over the shoulders. Inhale, take the arms back up, maybe palms press as you look up. Exhale, lower your hands to the floor. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Step to downward facing dog, lifting the hips up and back. 3 cycles of breath here. From downward facing dog, or another variation would be tabletop. Inhale, lift your right leg up towards the sky. So lift the heel to the height of the hips, toes point down. Try not to round through your left side. Keep steering the left hip back. On an exhale, shift forward, pull your knee to your chest. Press the floor away, dome your upper back, and step your right foot next to your right thumb. You might use your hand and help boost the leg up there. Again, blocks are close by in case you want your hands on them. Slowly release your left knee to the floor this time and untuck your left toes. Root into the length of your shin. Firm your inner thighs together. Inhale the arms to the sky. Plug the arm bones down into the shoulder socket. Square your hips off to the front of the mat. Take the arms out wide in a T shape. We did this at the very beginning when we were seated. Rotate your palms forward, and you're going to cross your left arm over your right. finding that X shape. Hands to the tops of the shoulders, backs of the forearms touch, or maybe you double wrap. Lift your elbows to the height of your shoulders. Work your hands away from your face. Notice if that front knee is starting to wobble a bit. Press strongly into your right heel and steer the right hip back. Take 2 more breaths here. Focus your gaze. Soften your neck. Relax your jaw. On an inhale, unwind the arms. Take them up. Maybe palms press. Exhale, hands to the earth. Tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee. Look forward. Step to the front. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale to fold, Uttanasana. Press down, airplane the arms, rise to stand. Exhale, hands to the heart. Release your arms by your sides, Tadasana. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. This time as you exhale, bend your knees and step the left leg back first. So big step back with the left leg. Lower your left knee, untuck the toes. Root into the length of the shin, reach the arms up and pause. Draw the low belly in, lengthen your tailbone down. Make sure your right knee is over the ankle and it's not moving in front of it. Rotate your palms forward, inhale. Exhale, bend your elbows out to the side like cactus, but take it further. Squeeze your elbows together. Absorb the front ribs in. Maybe melt the hips forward a little more. Inhale, the arms go up, maybe palms press. Exhale, hands to the floor. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, step to downward facing dog. 3 cycles of breath. Smooth it out. Slow it down, relax your head. You can always take a sigh out of the mouth if that's a good way for your body to release some added tension, if there is any tension. From downward facing dog or tabletop position, inhale, lift the left leg up. Lift it to the height of the hips so the toes point down. As you exhale, shift forward to plank. Pull the knee to the chest, push the floor away, and step, left foot next to the left thumb. Lower the back knee, untuck the back toes. Root into the length of the shins. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, take your arms wide. Rotate the palms forward. Good. Steer the left hip back as you wrap the right hip forward. Crossing right arm over the left this time. Come into your wrap, your variation here. If you do have one of the wraps, lift the elbows, work the hands away from the face, steady your gaze, steady your breath. 2 more here. On an inhale, uncross the arms, reach them to the sky, big breath. Exhale, hands to the mat. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, inhale. Exhale, step to the front. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen, come away from the legs. Exhale, fold and release. Press down into your feet, root to rise, circle the arms up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Release your arms by your sides. All right, yogis, nice job. From here, we're gonna turn to face the long side of your mat. So whichever direction is better for you, as long as you're facing, the wide part of your mat, and then step your feet nice and wide. Have the feet nice and parallel to begin, and open your arms into a T shape. So classically, the heels would align underneath the wrists. If that feels a little too long for your body, start with the feet a bit closer together. Bring your hands back to your hips. Roll your shoulders back. Bend your right knee. From the hip socket, rotate the leg so the toes point to the front of your mat. Pivot the back foot in at an angle, setting up for warrior 2. Go ahead and bend into your right knee. And if you start to bend and see the knee moving in front of the ankle, shift back a little bit and wiggle, wiggle, wiggle the right foot further forward. Steer the right buttocks back, anchor through your left leg. Rotate your chest
so that it's facing the long side of your mat. And remember how much focus we had on the upper body when we were seated at the beginning. So the legs are heavy, but there's a sense of buoyancy, lift and lightness through the heart. Sweep your arms nice and wide, relax your shoulders. So nice, yogis. On an inhale, straighten your front leg, reach your arms up, palms press. On an exhale, bend your right knee. Listen carefully, you're gonna take your arms behind you and see if you can bring the palms together, almost like you wanna clap your hands. Inhale, straighten right leg, arms go up. Exhale, bend the knee, hands behind. One more, inhale to straighten. Exhale to bend, take the arms behind your back. Keep the bend in the knee, re-extend your arms. Rotate the right palm forward, reach it back, reverse warrior. Stay in your reverse warrior. Start to turn your gaze towards your back heel. And then tuck the chin in ever so slightly for a little stretch. Good, look up towards the top arm. Press into the feet, inhale, rise, warrior two. Straighten the leg, parallel the feet, hands to the hips. Heel toe your feet in a little bit closer, but keep them parallel. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, soft bend in the knees, hinge from the hips, and fold. If the hands don't easily touch the floor, you can grab your blocks and just let your torso hang here. Feel the weight shift more towards your toes. And at the same time, can you firm your outer ankles in? So there's a sense of hugging in, and that way we're better protecting the ankles. From here, I want you to cross your right arm over your left. So you're in your forward fold, and you're creating an X shape with your arms. Place your left hand on your right ankle, and your right hand on your left ankle. If the hands don't reach the ankles or the shins, walk the feet in a little closer. Press the legs out into the hands and the hands into the legs to draw your body in deeper. Relax your head. Lift the tops of the shoulders up and away from the ears. Good. Stay in your forward fold. Bring the backs of the forearms to touch. So find your wrap here. If backs of the forearms touching feels like too much, take your hands to the tops of your shoulders. Bend your knees, send your butt back, reach your heart forward, inhale to rise. So your arms are already wrapped. Step your left foot to meet your right. Pause here. Relax the shoulders, lift the elbows a bit higher. Spread your toes, anchor down through the four corners of each foot. Lift your left heel up. Good, and just pause here. Notice how that feels. See if you can bring your left knee to the height of the hip. Flex the foot. Good, and if this is enough, let this be enough. Breathe here, steady your gaze. Remember to send the breath into the back body. If you want more, add a soft bend to your standing leg. Cross the left leg over the right, and maybe you wrap the ankle as well. That's not necessary, but it might happen in some of your bodies. Steer the left hip crease back. Lift your heart. Breathe. You're in Garudasana, eagle pose. Some of you can bend the knees a little deeper and send the butt further back. An option here, you can always set your crossed leg, that foot, on a block. 2 more breaths. Inhale, stand into your right leg. Slowly uncross the left. Set it down. Release your arms. Good. Sweep them to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart. Release your arms. Roll the shoulders back once, twice, and 3 times. All right, yogis, so we have one more side. Step your feet out again, nice and wide. And you might measure by opening your hands. Bring the hands to the hips when you're ready. Bending your left knee from the hip socket, rotate the leg open. Your toes are gonna point to the short edge of your mat. Pivot the back foot in, lining up heel to arch. As you bend into your left knee, be sure the knee stays in line with the second toe. Anchor through the back leg. Rotate your chest to the long side of the mat. Lift and lengthen through the sides of the waist. Draw energy up through your sternum, through the crown of your head. Very nice, guys. Breathe here. Take your arms wide. Relax the tops of the shoulders. Maybe gaze over your front middle finger. Relax the mouth. On an inhale, straighten your left leg without locking the knee out. Bring the arms up. On an exhale, re-bend your left knee. Take the arms back behind you like you wanted to clap your hands. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Reach the arms up. Exhale, bend the knee. Take the arms behind you. Last one. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale to bend. Stay with the left knee bent. Re-extend your arms. Settle your shoulders. Rotate the left palm to the sky. Reach it up and back. Reverse warrior. Really work to keep the left knee in line with the second toe. It's going to want to wobble here. And if your body will allow it, start to look back and down towards your right heel. Tuck the chin in ever so slightly. Let your shoulders pull away from those ears. Look back up. Press into your feet. Inhale to rise. Exhale, straighten the left leg. Hands to the hips. Parallel your feet. Heel toe the feet in a little bit closer, but keep them neutral. In other words, parallel. Inhale, arms go up. Exhale, soft bend in the knees, hinge and fold. Release the head. Feel the weight tip forward. And just enjoy this forward fold. Okay, cross your left arm this time over your right and grab for your shins or your ankle. If you can't reach them, walk your feet in closer. Feel free to keep a bend in your knees, especially if the back of the legs are really talking to you here. Press the legs out into the hands and at the same time, the hands into the legs. Lift the shoulder heads up. Drop the head down. Think, how much space can I create around the neck? Relax the mouth. Good. Stay in your forward fold. Release the clasp of your hands on your legs. Find your arms here. Hands to the tops of the shoulders, backs of the forearms touch, or maybe you double wrap. Bend your knees, send your butt back, reach your heart forward. Inhale, come to stand. Have the arms as they are, whether they're wrapped or your hands are at your shoulders. Step your right leg to meet your left. Pause here. Breathe. Have the feet about hip distance, spread your toes. Shifting the weight to your left leg. So when we say shift, it's subtle. You don't want to, fall over to the left. You just want to feel more weight transfer to your left leg. Lift your right heel up. Draw your low belly in. Tailbone lengthens here. Very nice. Now maybe you start to play with balance. Bring your right knee to the height of the hip, flex the foot. This is plenty. You don't have to go farther than this. If you want to play, if you want to see what happens, soften your standing leg and cross right thigh over left. Try to cross above the knee. Steer your right hip crease back. Lift your heart, maybe lift your elbows a little higher. Good, focus the gaze, steady your breath, relax your mouth, and if you wobble, that's fine. We just come back. That's why we call it a practice. We keep showing up, we keep doing the work. The next time you inhale, stand into your left leg. Uncross the right, set the foot down, unwind the arms, inhale, sweep them up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Release your arms, roll your shoulders back, and maybe close your eyes for a moment, just standing still, feeling the effects of your practice, of your work. Go ahead, blink the eyes open. Make your way to the front of your mat and find Tadasana. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinge from the hips and fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen, a little different this time. On an exhale, bend the knees, step the right leg back, and then the left. Come into your plank position here.
Shoulders over the wrist, heels above the balls of the feet. Option, you can always lower the knees if that works better in your body. Shift to the tiptoes, keep the spine long, bend the elbows and meet the earth. Once you lower down, roll onto your back. So nothing fancy. We're just gonna kind of scoot ourselves onto our backs. And then once you make your way onto your back, bend your knees. Place your feet about hip distance apart and release your arms long by your sides. Take a hold of the edges of your mat. Squeeze the mat into your palms and then drag the knuckles forward. Your arms are straight and you're creating some traction, some length through your low back. Good. Release the hands from the gripping and set them by your side. Palms will face down. Snuggle your shoulder blades under you a little bit so you feel an opening across the front of the heart. Anytime you're in a back bend, you want to maintain neutral in your neck. So try not to lift your chin or completely press the back of the neck down. Using the legs, press into your heels, press down into the backs of the arms and lift your hips. Bridge pose. Reach the tailbone towards the space between your knees and spiral your inner thighs down. If your shoulders will allow it, you might interlace your hands under your back and snuggle the blades under more. If the hands are interlaced, slowly release, and then one vertebra at a time, lower down. Resist the urge to hug the knees into the chest and just simply pause here. Okay, we've got one more bridge to go. So again, arms long by the side, little snuggle of the shoulders under. Press into the heels, lift the hips, inhale. Either stay here or reach underneath you. Switch the interlace of the fingers. Tuck the arms under the body more. Reach the tailbone forward without completely gripping your glutes. So notice that your body just wants to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the butt. You need a little bit of that, but see if you can do a little less. That way you're engaging not just the glute muscles, but the back of the legs, the hamstrings as well. Spin the inner thighs down so your knees don't splay. And breathe into your heart. Relax your eyes. Soften the jaw. And very slowly release the interlace. One vertebra at a time. Let your body go. Good. Pause once you land. Scoot your hips a couple inches to the left. Slide your right leg forward. Inhale. Exhale. Bring your left knee to your chest. Inhale. Exhale. Left knee over to the right. Coming into a twist here. Turning your chest up. Allowing your left arm to release out to the side. Ooh, I got a little crack in my back. Nice release. Send the top hip forward away from your armpit. On an inhale, firm the belly, come back to center. Rebend both of your knees. Find a little scoot of the hips to the right. Extend your left leg forward. Inhale. Exhale, right knee to the chest. We squeeze it in first. Inhale. Exhale, right knee to the left. You can open the right arm to the side. Maybe let the gaze fall to the right as well. Actively send the top hip away from you. Breathe across the chest. Good. On your next inhale, firm your belly. Come back through center. Rebend both of your knees. Adjust your hips so you feel neutral. Nice work, guys. And you might need to adjust your shoulders as well. Hug both knees into your heart. Give yourself a little squeeze. A gentle rock from side to side, right to left. Maybe a circle of the knees in one direction. and then the other. Bring your knees back through center and then open the knees wide. Let's come into happy baby. Arms will come inside of the legs. You can grab the outer edges of your feet. Some of you might be able to. You can grab the ankles, the shins, even hold behind the thighs. Sometimes that feels better. I want you to choose an option that allows your low back to stay down. In other words, sometimes we try to grab the feet and it causes the tailbone to curl up and the whole low back to lift away from the mat. So instead, try to anchor your sacrum. Find a little bit of space in your lumbar, the lowest part of your back, so that neutral arch is there, not totally flat, and we're breathing. Relax the mouth. One more cycle. On your exhale, bring your knees together. Draw your forehead in towards your knees. Wrap your arms around your legs and give yourself a great big hug. Squeezing everything in, tensing the eyes, the face, the mouth, the toes. Inhale. Exhale, let it all go. Straightening the legs out on the mat, letting the feet flop, arms release. Gently press into the back of the head to tuck the shoulder blades underneath you, broadening the heart. Feel your body spread out from top to bottom, from right to left. And you can allow the breath to soften. You don't need to shape it or change it. Just letting it be easy, natural, soft. Release your eyes, your jaw, and separate the lips slightly. Giving yourself these final few moments of your practice to fully and completely let go. Shavasana.
You may stay as long as you need in your Shavasana. If you feel ready to come back, begin to deepen your breath. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe let the head rock gently from side to side. In your own time, when you feel ready, stretch your arms over your head, lengthen through your legs, maybe point and flex the feet. On an exhale, hug the belly to the spine, draw your knees to your chest. Take a hold of your shins, and give your body a little rock side to side, just reawakening, bringing yourself back. And eventually roll over to your right side and pause here in the fetal position. Just taking a moment before we shift back into our day, before we come back into the norm, if you will, to feel your body, feel the effects of your practice. And just allow yourself to linger in this sensation, knowing that this openness, this clarity, this calm is available to you at any time. The more we get comfortable in this state and how this feels, the easier it is to return to it time and time again. When you feel ready, use your left palm, gently press down into the floor, and bring yourself upright to seated. As you come into your seat, let the shoulders draw back, lift and lengthen through the crown of your head. Feel a sense of steadiness through your seat, but lightness and lift through your heart. And let's bring the hands together in front of the chest, sealing the palms in Anjali Mudra, a gesture of gratitude. Honoring this practice and all that it offers us, we'll close with a final breath. Allow a full deep inhale. And on your exhale, bow to your heart. Namaste.